Hey everyone, this is DJ Fist on Castle Blakk Radio here with Richie from Gravehuffer. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Tell me the origin behind Gravehuffer. I see you were in a band. You were previously called a Crom.
Yes.
Tell me the story behind that. What's the significance of the name Crom? And I can kind of tell what Gravehuffer is about, but tell me the history of how you came to be.
Initially, that's funny I use that word because we were, me, Mike, our bass player, and Larry, our drummer, were in a band in the late 90s called Initial Detonation, and it was like this crust anarcho-punk political kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also another guitarist and another vocalist and a female vocalist. So it was like, almost like Slipknot or something.
Okay.
Before then, but way better. But, we did a couple of 7 inches and we toured a few times. And, so we've been playing together, the 3 musicians of Gravehuffer since the late 90s. And, we did that till early 2000s. So it was probably 4 or 5 years. And none of us really did a whole lot. Except Mike and Larry, they did like this experimental kind of, for lack of a better word, soundtrack music.
Okay.
It was called Freak Flag. And they had a bunch of stuff on SoundCloud. And it's probably something right up your alley, I think. I think you probably like their stuff. But
that's cool.
They did that, and then it was just basically like a studio project. And then I just got married and started having kids and stuff. And so I really didn't do a whole lot of music there for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And then I think it was around 2006, Larry and Mike decided they wanted to start playing live shows again. So they started a band called Ether Bunny. And that was with our current vocalist, James. They got him, and then Mike switched to guitar. They got a bass player, and they wrote a bunch of stuff. And actually, some of the Crom stuff are his old Ether Bunny tune. But anyway, they did that for a couple of years. Had trouble with the bass player. Mike switched to bass. They called me, and I was like, yeah, man, I've been itching to play shows for a long time and play music, in general. So
yeah.
We started in 2008. I think it was in the summertime, and they taught me some of the Ether Bunny stuff, and then I had a bunch of songs that I've just been writing, and then I showed them that stuff, and then we just started collaborating on things, and the old chemistry from the Initial Detonation days was still there, so we were just knocking out tunes left and right.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so we didn't have a name for the band yet. They didn't want to call it Ether Bunny because it was like way different sounding. And so our drummer one day at practice was like, he just goes, Crom! And we was like, that would be such a cool name, Because they're, it's from Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, I thought maybe it was from Game of Thrones or something like that. No, it would be some before that, like Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know.
It was Conan is God. It was his deity or whatever.
Okay.
Mike and all the other guys were huge Conan fans. I mean, I've seen it, but I wasn't like super into it. But they all loved it. So I just thought it sounded cool, and I was like, yeah, man, that sounds good to me. And so that's where the Crom thing came from.
Yeah, that you could definitely, if you did shows, you could say, and now here's Crom.
Right, yeah. It was like Slayer Lights or something, Because everybody's always like, Slayer! And we're like, Crom.
But then people would probably think that you're saying crumb. You're saying crumb or crumbs?
Or gets confused with corn or something.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
Right.
So then you switched to the name Gravehuffer. How did that come to be?
Well, we switched to Gravehuffer, I think it was early 2012, and what had happened was we were getting confused with there was a bunch of other Crom bands out there, and in OA, I mean, the internet was out there, but it just wasn't like, it was like in the MySpace days.
The MySpace days, yeah.
Yeah, and so we apparently didn't do our research well enough, so we were getting, like, when we were sending our CD for reviews and stuff, we were getting confused with other bands called Crom. There was one in Italy. There was one in like Indiana or somewhere like North Midwest area, and several other. There was a rapper. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. So we're like, our bass player was like, we've got to change the name. I was like, all right. So the rest of us were like, okay, we'll change the name. And then what had happened in the summer of 2011 was a tornado came through Joplin.
Yeah.
And it was bad. And we had just finished band practice, and like 30 minutes later, it just took my house out, you know.
Wow.
And so, and we practiced at my house. So after that happened, we didn't have anywhere to play or practice, excuse me. And so actually the band broke up for about 6 months, and I can't remember what exactly happened. I think our drummer, he called me up just out of the blue one day, and he's like, hey man, you want to come to my house and jam? I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And so I went down there, and it was just me and him. And I think part of the deal was we just were not sure where we were going to rehearse, and we just weren't sure what we were going to do. And so I talked with the guys. I was like, man, I jammed with Larry today. It was really cool. We should probably, let's get back together, you know?
Yeah.
And so our bass player was like, but we're not doing it as Crom, right? I was like, no, we'll come up with something else. And Mike's like, well, I've already got our name. I was like, okay. Well, our buddy Dozer had a band was going to start a band called Gravehuffer. And it was like this psychobilly type stuff.
Yeah.
And he never ended up getting that off the ground. And so we asked him if we could use the name. And he's like, sure, so as long as I get free Gravehuffer merch for life. So that was kind of the deal. So we just thought it was a cool name. And then we ended up writing the Gravehuffer song. And then it kind of took on a life of its own. But yeah, that's the kind of the origin of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on there, and definitely strange how the force of nature can cause a band to break up. I never heard of that before, but that's,
it was pretty intense and interesting to say the least.
I guess you have tornadoes quite on a frequent basis in Missouri. We have hurricanes in Florida.
Yeah, hurricanes.
Thank God none has ever hit here where I live, so that's good. But
that's good.
So you guys, you have recently played out live before, or you currently doing any shows, any gigs you want to promote or anything that's coming up?
Well, we're not really playing any shows at the moment. I mean, we played tons, but right now our drummer's kind of in this work situation that's made it a little difficult for us. But hopefully that will resolve itself. If not, we may get a fill-in drummer until his work or until he decides he wants to do something else or whatever. That's the only kind of crappy part about the whole live gig. But currently we're recording some new stuff, and it's going to be like exclusive to the vinyl release of our new album that we just put out earlier this year in March. And we got one song done.
Oh, cool.
So we got to mix it. But and then the other song we're going to record probably first of next month once our drummer gets back from. He works on the road, so he's gone like 3 or 4 weeks out of almost a full month. And so I mean, it just makes it almost practically impossible to really play shows. But he'll come back home for like a week or two. And drummers, he's got a lot of stuff to catch up, so it just makes it difficult. But we are going to record this other track, and Blunt Face Records is going to be putting out the vinyl.
Oh, cool!
And so they're going to be starting the pre-order crowdfunding campaign for that at the end of July.
Oh, cool!
So that's kind of all what we're gearing up for right now. So
yeah, it's hard to. When I was younger, all the time in the world to do a band and never really did anything. And then as you get older, you have a wife, you have kids, and I can imagine it's hard to get things going with having 4 kids. I know you have 4 kids. Do they like your music? They say, Dad's cool. He's in a band, and they throw up their metal horns.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
Like my oldest son, he's 14. I gave him a Gravehuffer shirt, and they glow in the dark. And so he'll wear it to school. And he's actually sold a couple of shirts for me from some of his friends at school.
That's funny. They don't give him any crap about it. Gravehuffer, what's that? Take that off.
Right. It is kind of funny because, like, the kids, every once in a while, we live in the Bible Belt, so there's going to be some like, it's pretty conservative here, but, people will give them the odd stare here and there.
For sure.
Does drugs, or he's got really long blonde hair. So, he looks like a total metalhead.
That's cool. I remember I liked the band. They're not metal, but the band Morphine, and I had a Morphine T-shirt and walked into a convenience store one time, and a lady there just went crazy. It's like, you're promoting drug use. You're crazy. You need to get rid of that shirt right away. It's like, what the heck? It's not. This isn't some like Cannibal Corpse album cover T-shirt. Right. What the hell is going on with you, crazy lady?
Right.
But anyway,
funny.
Yeah, people get triggered by the strangest things sometimes.
Exactly.
But what else was I going to say? Lost my train of thought again. Hold on. Write it down. So you said you're named after Ritchie Blackmore. Your dad named you after. I guess your mom and dad named you after Ritchie Blackmore.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They could have been weird and named you Yngwie.
Right.
Or maybe.
Well, I don't think Yngwie was around in '75, so.
Oh yeah, probably. Oh, probably.
He may have been, but not like huge.
Yeah, he probably. I don't know when he was born. He's probably early '70s or late '60s or something, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
If you were born later, you could have. Your parents could have named you Buckethead. You know Buckethead.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
That
guy's insane.
I've never actually heard him, but just the visual of him, it looks pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I guess it originally started with just a KFC bucket.
They probably told him,
told him,
you can't have that.
Yeah, they probably got a cease and desist or something.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. What else? I see you guys have a lot of cool merchandise that you sell. You sell primarily off your Bandcamp page. Was it gravehuffer.bandcamp.com?
Yes.
I always get it confused. Is it bandcamp.nameofband.com or nameofband.bandcamp.com? I always get confused by that for some reason.
Right, yeah. It's the name of the band and then the bandcamp.com. Yeah.
Yeah, I just recently signed up my own music there, and it's taking forever to upload everything, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I get some funds together, I'll have to get the newest bundle. I see the bundle includes a CD and the cassette. I guess you only ran a limited number of cassettes, I guess. I don't know how popular cassettes are.
The CDs were kind of low on right now, so that's why I put the cap at like 20.
I know. I guess cassettes are kind of making a little comeback. Nothing like vinyl, but yeah, cassettes are a pain in the ass, especially when they break. You have to get out this little Scotch tape and try to make it the same tiny piece so it fits.
Right. Yeah.
And then you go play it again and it gets all warped and gets crapped out again. I hated that.
And it's eaten. Oh yeah.
But yeah. So what else? I ran out of questions to offer. To suggest to come up with. Excuse me. I work overnight, so I just woke up like 15 minutes ago. So.
Oh no.
So, pardon my babbling.
No problem.
I guess the usual. Who were you influenced by musically? I guess. Would you say that Ritchie Blackmore, like Rainbow, is one of your favorite bands?
Yeah, actually, I like Deep Purple and Rainbow quite a bit. I mean, my dad had all the records and Uriah Heep and all that stuff, and then there was another band called Judas Priest. That,
of course.
I mean, the album cover for Unleashed in the East. I remember flipping through and seeing that, and I was like, wow, KK Downing's holding that flying V up and rocking out, and I was like, I think that would be fun, I'd like to do that one day.
Yeah.
And so that's I put the record on. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Exciter came on, and I was like, this is badass. And so, I'm like 5 years old, and I'm like, this is, and so it was. I would say that was the album that really made me want to play guitar.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But I like a lot of different stuff. So,
no, we always at Castle Blakk Radio, we always play the songs, and you usually know them. So, oh, this is a cool Voivod song. This is a cool Creator song, Sepultura. They're all mainstream, and not mainstream, but known bands. But
right.
I'm sure some bands that I've never heard of and that are and stuff. So, but there's 40 billion bands out there. It's hard to keep up.
Oh yeah, it is. It really is. There's so many bands out there with the internet, and computers. You can record albums in your bedroom or garage or wherever, and so quality, it's high. It's good quality.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
One-man bands and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I'm one-man band.
Right.
But
yeah.
It's just for fun, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I had a two-man band, and we did stuff on 4-track, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I used to have a 4-track recorder, cassette 4-track recorder. I still have my drum machine, the little rolling drum machine.
Oh yeah, I have an Alesis, I think the SR16.
Yeah.
And the only reason we bought it is because Godflesh used it on Street Cleaner.
Oh, cool.
And I remember reading it in an interview, and I was like, that's what we're getting.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was cheap. I was like, wow, this thing's cheap, and it's on this freaking badass album. That's really cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of guitars do you use? Any preference?
Well, funny you asked that. I was talking about the Flying V. That's my preferred shape. I love the V's.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Jackson V, which I never play anymore. It's pretty beat to hell. I used to have a Gibson V, but I sold it to help pay for a new guitar that I'm having custom made for me by Killer B Guitars, and it's going to be a V, slightly an offset V, and it's going to have like a half circle down by the bridge. And it's going to have all my specs and built to my specs or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm really excited about that. It's going to be like a black, but it's going to be transparent so you can still see the wood grain through it.
Cool.
If I'm hoping anyway, he said something about he's got a guy that does laser etching, and I want him to put a Gravehuffer Pentagrave logo on the 12th fret.
Oh, cool. That would be awesome.
I'm hoping that happens. And I think my signature will be on the headstock and all that jazz. And so I'm like stoked for that. So
that'd be
I'll be getting
cool.
that sometime later this year. But I do have it's called an Artist Series guitar. It's a Gravehuffer custom guitar, and it's got artwork that was on our hoodies on the side, and then it's got our band name kind of at an angle. It's like an SG style.
Yeah.
But that's the one I'm playing right now until I get this new one. So,
how many guitars do you own?
Just 3.
Just 3? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and I have an acoustic, and I got a couple of bass guitars. I got a pedal steel guitar and a banjo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love messing around with all that stuff. I think the pedal steel may make an appearance on the new album.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I would love to have a house and have a room just full of guitars and basses and recording equipment, and that would just be.
Oh yeah,
that would be a dream. Yeah.
Right. Well, my wife's going into nursing, so she's gonna hopefully make some bank and get us a decent house.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's the plan. She was like, we both need our own rooms for our hobby. So,
that would be awesome.
I'm like, man, I'm all for it. So.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I record at home, I'm just in an apartment, and when I do my vocals during the day, like only one of my neighbors is home, so they never complain. So
that's
cool.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add to the?
Well, I was talking about the endorsement things. I probably should plug these guys since they're
yeah.
Killer Bee Guitars, Von York Strings. Man, I can't say enough about them. They've been really cool. I've been impressed with them.
How those endorsements? I'm sorry to interrupt you there. How those like the string endorsements work? Do they pay you, or do you just get lifetime strings and you just have to put it everywhere on your website or whatever? And
that's part of it. You got to promote them, and then it's not free stuff. I think a lot of people think that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and a lot of the endorsements, usually you have to pay something, even if like you're huge. I mean, unless you're just like Metallica or something.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a really established signed band, you're not going to get free stuff. Because like the strings, it's a discount, and it's a nice discount. I'm not going to lie, but you still got to pay a little bit. And then same with the guitar, it's not free. It's a decent discount too.
I was curious about that because your fellow Missouri band Navarra, I see they're endorsed by BC Rich Guitars. Like, man, does he get free BC Rich Guitars? What's up with that? How's that work?
I haven't talked to Scott about that, but I talk to him all the time. I actually talked to him about his cable endorsement. I'm waiting to hear back from them. They offered me an endorsement, so
nice.
I'm not going to mention the name because it's not official yet. But anyway.
What other endorsements you have?
It's a discount as well, and so I'm not sure if Scott gets his free or if his are just discounted or whatever. But Navarra tours a lot, and we don't tour. We just play locals, regionals, and maybe some weekenders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we may play a few shows in a row, but
he made it down to Florida. I met him in person. It was cool cool to meet him in person, and hoping to get an interview with him as well. But he's a busy guy. And he's about to go on tour again. But
definitely. Oh yeah.
Any other endorsements you have?
Sinister Guitar Picks, and they're I'm still waiting for my picks on them. I put the order in, and that's another discounted option.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really active on social media, so I think the way we are and the way they operate should be a really good partnership. Same with Von York too; they're good on social media, so I think that's kind of what a lot of these endorsement companies are looking for, just to help them spread the word, because they're more at our level, where they're just trying to get known.
Yeah, so you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and it's just a partnership. So, and then the guitar cable company is hopefully coming, so I'm hoping to hear back from them today or tomorrow. Like I said, they offered me the endorsement.
How do you find these companies? They just come to you, or you have to go to Craigslist or find other bands that use them and send them an email? Or I'm just curious how the whole promotion thing works.
That's exactly it. I've known several artists that are endorsed by these same companies, and there's a band called Four Skulls, and the guitarist Nick Bryan, he helped me with the guitar endorsement. And there's a band called Pontifex on Blunt Face Records, and they helped with the pick endorsement.
Oh, cool.
And the string endorsement, I can't remember on that one, honestly. That may have even been Four Skulls as well. And then the soon-to-be, hopefully, cable one was Scott with Navarra. So it's just, that's kind of the thing about spreading the word on social media or wherever you see these other artists endorsed. And so I just flat out ask them,
definitely.
It's not going to hurt anything. And so I'll talk to them about it. And a lot of the times these sites will have, or these companies will have a website, and then they'll have somewhere in the contact information, they'll have like an artist endorsement application or just a contact form, and you just basically ask them about it. And so far, everybody's got back with me. So
that's great.
Really cool.
Yeah, I've never thought of it. It's always something I thought of. How does that whole endorsement thing work? And all that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so we'll keep plugging away at the music and any new songs you come up with, and we'll gladly play them here on Cast Blakk Radio, Jay and Dastardly and Metal Mom and the other DJs. I'm sure we'll play it as well. And when you guys
I know you guys play us all the time, and we really appreciate it.
When you have a new release, we'll one of us will nominate you for the Band of the Month.
Right on. Sounds good.
That's cool. So yeah, definitely. So all right, it's been good talking to you, and
you too.
Thanks for the interview, and we'll keep plugging Gravehuffer away and spreading the word.
All right, man. Thanks, Fitz.